10, man. Then went up on the rent, man. He ain't about to get another red cent, man. I'm about to flip the script and change the game plan. I'm about to boss it up and be my own man. Credit Karma say my score around in the 6. I heard that paying mortgage way less than paying rent. Equity, tax breaks, make no mistakes. Money piling out, watch my co-workers hate. Anyway, rate increase, no way. Just got a raise on my job, more pay. I'm on Realtor.com, Zillow every day. I think about it all the time on my lunch break. When I want it, best believe I'ma get it. I'ma get me a house, it might take a minute. My boy Los got a VA loan, he a vet. I might holler at him, asking what the next step. I'ma get that, I'ma get that, I'ma get that, I'ma get it. Hey, what's up, fam? This your boy Ed Averette, the rapper real estate agent, the People's Champ. Y'all know what it is with the Averhome Group, Fathom Realty. I have Rita Hazel and Rebecca Monell with Loan Depot on my show tonight, and we're going to talk about how to navigate through the home buying process during this pandemic. Rebecca has gathered 3 of the top questions from potential buyers that she's going to ask us tonight. So welcome to the show, Rita and Rebecca. How you doing?
Wonderful,
great.
Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, I just have to say, I love your intro. Love it. I love it. It's great. It sums up everything. I love it.
Thank you. Does it make you want to buy a house?
Yes, it is. It's interesting. I want to call. I want to know more. So that's good.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, so you gathered a few questions from some potential home buyers.
I did.
And I just wanted you to speak to that and just see.
Yeah, let's jump right in. So the first question is going to be directed to Rita, and to explain how, as reps here at Loan Depot, we're handling work furlough situations for workers who have to step away from work for a period of time in the midst of this crisis environment, and then have to transition back into work.
Okay, of course that's happening to a great amount of people, even myself. We're here working from home. I haven't been back to the office for the last 5 weeks. And so a lot of clients are in the same situation. And some of them are working from home, but then some people, their job dictated that they could not work. And a good example would be one of our clients that works for a daycare. So the daycare's closed, and she was in the middle of trying to purchase a home. So the biggest thing that I think people should understand is that the time that you're off work will not be held against you. People might be on unemployment right now. We cannot use the unemployment income because it's not something that's going to continue for the next 3 years. But during the time when you are off, normally that time would be held against you. It would be averaged into your overall work. And so it would reduce the amount of income that you have. Well, right now, the government has put out guidelines that basically say that time period, it can be overlooked. And then when you go back to work, that time period is not averaged in to lower your income. So in the case of my daycare worker, she got fully pre-approved while she was at home. And all she's doing is waiting for the day that she'll go back. And then once she goes back, she'll be able to purchase her home.
Good. That's good to bring clarity to that, because a lot of people are asking, can I buy a home since I'm temporary at home due to COVID-19? So that's good. That's really good.
Yep.
And then also there's a lot of I have some clients that are reinventing themselves. So if they're not working on jobs that they were working on previously, and so they find themselves working in new positions. So are they still able to buy a house if they were to change jobs, or do they have to be in the same field that they were working in previously?
Okay, well, it's definitely, if you're in the same field, there's no problem. So an example would be someone who their job actually may have laid them off. So, this happened and the company laid off. Well, that person might get their new job, back in 9 weeks later. Well, for them, if it's in the same industry, it's like there's no break. So they don't need to be concerned. They could just go ahead and buy as normal. If someone switched industries entirely, like they were an admin and now they went into sales, well, the underwriter actually is going to want to see that they've been successful and that it was a successful transition. So they may have to work 6 months or even up to a year in the new industry before we can do the loan. So the industry part is the key part.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Makes sense.
These are great answers for people listening too, because I'm sure people had these questions. So those are great. I'm going to turn the wheel here. Ed, this one's for you.
Okay.
As a realtor, how are you assisting homebuyer clients who want to see houses to purchase in this restrictive platform to virtually see the homes and now actually physically seeing the home? There's a part 2 to that. So how are you encouraging them in this challenging market as well?
Okay. So we definitely want to stay safe and be respectful. Safety.
Absolutely.
We're wearing masks and gloves. But if we're not able to get to the homes, there are virtual tours available. The listing agents, they have video tours of virtual tours that we can send to our clients. So I've had a couple of clients purchase that way. So that's one of the.
So explain that, elaborate a little bit on that. When you say virtual, so they're on just like we are, and are you going through the rooms in the home, or is it a pre-screened video that's played, or they actually?
In most cases, it's a pre-screened video that's recorded by the agent, and then they have different ones, and then they have some that are picture tours that go room by room. And
wow. Okay, good.
So some of them are in 3-dimensional, or some of them are regular pictures. It just depends, but we can definitely still facilitate the home buying process.
And I've also noticed with clients and even with yourself that there is a lot of new construction to purchasing because those homes are empty, and so it's a new development, and so you're really going to see the site and the model. And so I've seen a little bit of an uptick in new construction homes during this time, which is another great way for people to purchase.
Yeah, man, right. We're not missing a beat in some of these builders. They're still going up on their prices because the demand is still there. It's still high.
The demand is there.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay, good. I like what I hear. So can home buyers still receive down payment assistance? And if so, because I know that's a question everybody has and everybody wants to know, can the home buyers still receive down payment assistance during this pandemic? How are you navigating your clients, through many opinions and perceptions that are out there on the ground floor? That's a 2-part question.
I think probably Ed and I can answer this. One of the things is that just like everything else, like your local grocery store has changes. Some of them only allow a certain amount of people in the store. Some stores only let you in with masks. Every lender right now has different rules. And so I think for the consumers, they need to be aware of that. So your questions around down payment, a lot of lenders during this time period have stopped with the down payment agencies for various reasons. And all of them could be legit, particularly depending on the size of the organization. So like a lot of people are aware, particularly here in the Carolinas, there are quite a lot of down payment agencies. Most of the ones here in the Carolinas are still distributing funds. You just need to make sure that your lender is still distributing those funds. I happen to be at Loan Depot. We are still distributing those funds. So for us, there hasn't been any change. But I have gotten quite a lot of people where there's emergency loans where lenders are no longer doing those because their resources are allocated somewhere differently, or they don't have enough staff to do those loans.
How would you encourage a buyer to find out if their lender is participating in down payment assistance program? Like what question are they asking? Help me out here.
I just think you're just asking exactly that. If you're someone where you think, particularly if you're a first-time home buyer and you think that you might be eligible, you just want to ask your lender, number one, is that company distributing funds right now? So
Okay.
is that lender? So is if you're talking to Wells Fargo, is Wells Fargo doing those funds right now? Is Loan Depot doing those funds right now? And then you also need to ask if that loan officer is licensed to distribute those funds. And that's in all
Gotcha.
times, the loan officer needs to be licensed. And you can also check with the agency.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful. So you hear that.
uh, with down payment assistance, it's good. I'm not saying that it's not good. It just depends on your situation. So you can still put down your 3.5%. It just depends on where you're at. So everybody may not qualify for down payment assistance, and down payment assistance may not be for everyone. So that's not the only
Right.
way that you can go about, getting a house.
Well,
Right.
that's exactly right, Ed. I mean, a lot of people don't realize there's so many different ways to purchase, and what you want to do is to know all of your options. And the first thing, just even the fact that there's zero down products for everybody. Who, generally, if you make up under $90,000 a year, there's probably a zero down program that's available for you in terms of a loan product, not down payment assistance. So there's so many things available, but I do have to stop and say one of the key things that anybody who's listening this evening needs to know is that interest rates are at an all-time low.
That was my next
Um,
question. Yes.
so I'll help you go ahead and lead into that, because it
Yes.
really means a few things that are great for people here in the greater Charlotte area and elsewhere. Right now is a fantastic time to buy with the rate so low. So let me not preempt you here.
So I'm going to ask Ed a question directly, and Rita, you can answer too. Ed's typically, he's more out in the public and talking. Is now a good time to actually purchase?
Yes.
Given everything, is now really a good time to purchase?
Yes, with the interest rates being as low as they are, you can buy more. It gives you more buying power. People are still out here in droves buying houses. I have a couple of listings, and I'm working with buyers. It's highest and best out here. So
Yeah.
regular spring. So
You mentioned earlier that this is one of your by far best weeks you had.
yes, I've had one of the biggest weeks that I've had in my career last week.
Wow.
I put 7 people
Wow.
in contracts. So yeah, so they're buying.
That's fantastic, Ed. And that is the point. Is if you're someone who has been looking to purchase, the whole idea is like, if you would have talked to me 9 weeks ago and you were looking to purchase, a $200,000 or $300,000 home, the amount that you're paying on your mortgage statement right now could be a $200 to $300 difference. It could be lower by that much just based on the interest rate. And so the house that you're looking for is definitely more affordable. And then for someone who felt like, wow, I didn't have enough buying power, certainly that gives them more buying power. So it is, from one aspect, a very good time to buy based on your situation. And so we're taking those questions because we don't want people to miss that opportunity.
That's right. That's right. I think now's a good time to buy as well.
And house prices are still going up. So there's some people that they're waiting for prices to drop and all that. That's not happening right now. We don't know what the future is going to hold, but I can tell you as of now, prices are going up. I talk to builders every day. They're going up on their prices every 3 to 5 sales.
That's right.
So, I mean, now is the time. You don't want to wait a couple of months from now. You want to lock in now.
That's right. Do we have any listeners listening?
Probably do. No comments.
No,
yet.
listen. No, you are totally right. I agree. I think some of the lenders, it's fair to say too, especially new construction, for every third home that's actually sold, they increase the price in that subdivision. And with the market the way it is, and especially during this pandemic, business has not slowed down. We've actually been busier than ever. People are taking advantage of someone having to get rid of their house, someone having to move out, whatever the situation may be, new construction, they're jumping on it. You know, some of these down payment assistance, like you said, Rita, they're still, you know, providing funds. So this is all great information. I think listeners we've answered a lot of their questions. So
And I do
thank
have
you guys.
what is the credit score requirement that you're looking at? If I'm a first time buyer and I'm looking to buy a house, credit score, where does my credit score need to be?
Okay, in general, so I always like to give all the correct information. So just hang on just a second because it's a two-part answer. So for government-backed loans, most of the time the minimum credit score or the general minimum credit score is 580. There's caveats for lower down to 550, but in general, if it's a VA, FHA loan, or a USDA loan, that in general is what the government states. Right now, during this time of this pandemic, most lenders have increased that due to risk profile issues. So, like for instance, Chase is a lot of in our industry. We're talking about it because they've raised their minimum credit score to 740 just to mitigate risk. We Loan Depot, we are a very large lender, the second largest retail lender.
Yes, we are.
So our minimum is 620. It's not all the way up in the sevens, but it's 620, whereas 12 weeks ago it was 580. So just to kind of give you an idea again, right now there's a lot of different things going on, and in general, any business is trying to pull back and make sure that they're protecting their workers. But in general, the minimum credit score for government loans, it starts at 580, but it's hard to find right now. So 620 is what I am sharing with everyone that I'm working with, because that's actually going to be where they can fund a loan. And then the same for conventional loans. Officially for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac start at 620, and as a large lender, we start at 620. So those things we haven't really had that many shifts. But you're going to hear a lot of things right now in the industry to hear like, whoa, I can't even apply for it. I shouldn't apply unless my credit score is 700 or 740. You just need to check for the lenders and see who is a good match for you.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And I think on a next time, that's another segment for another conversation to dive deeper into that. But I would just want to say thank you, Ed, for having us.
Thank you.
Loved it. Great information we shared for the people. I'm sure they're going to have questions, and we look forward to speaking with them again.
All right. Thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
How would somebody reach out to you if they were interested in getting started with the process?
Basically, if you're interested in starting, you would just reach out to myself or Rebecca. And my business line is 704-302-2641. That's 704-302-2641. And you can also email, and that's my first initial R and my last name Hazel, RHAZELL @loandepot.com.
And my direct contact would be 980-200-4829. That's 980-200-4829. And my email would be rmonell, MONELL, @loandepot.com.
All right.
And
Sounds
yeah, and I was going to say thank you so much for having us on. And for us, our passion is getting people into homes.
That's right.
And we rock with you because we know that that's your passion too.
Yep.
And so for anyone out there who is interested in purchasing, do know that this is a great place to obtain information, and all questions are fantastic questions.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you for coming on, and thank you everyone for tuning into the show. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye.
Have a good night.
The rent man done went up on the rent man. He ain't about to get another red cent, man. I'm about to flip the script and change the game plan. I'm about to boss it up and be my own man. Credit Karma say my score around in the six. I heard that paying mortgage way less than paying rent. Equity, tax breaks, make no mistakes. Money piling out, watch my cold workers hate.